Hello, everybody. Welcome. I'm going to be doing, welcome again. I'm going to be doing this is a improv energy report and personal update. Um, you may or may not get the notification. I will check YouTube a little bit later. And you may be listening to the rain as well. I was woken up with this beautiful rain. Not so much a rainstorm, even though we do have some thunder. I guess it is a rainstorm. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. The sounds, the sense, the feeling, the coolness. Especially because we went through a large time frame where it did not rain at all. It went months and months and months and months with just very hot temperatures, extreme hot temperatures. And so right now with the rain, with how much it cools us, it's just so beautiful. So you may or may not hear it. But it is absolutely gorgeous. In any case, welcome if you are here. Let me get my other phone. I won't be here too long. I may or may not go deep into anything or like into questions. I just wanted to come here and share a little bit of the energies and a little bit of what I've been experiencing too, as I felt guided it was important to share. As always, the energies will continue to increase. This won't stop. Every time we go into energy reports, you're always going to hear how everything is increasing, everything is accelerating, the frequencies, the light codes we're receiving are just going to continue to be really, really massive. This won't stop. In fact, it will get stronger. So we will continuously and forever say that. Everything will continue to get more stronger, more intense, more powerful. More and more changes are in the horizon. This will continue to be. The biggest thing is to continually remind yourself of this, continually open yourself to this. Because this is all about gaining more awareness and gaining more consciousness about what's happening, about what's going on, so that you can reconnect deeper inside, so that you can connect to the frequencies, connect to your light body, and flow into the shifts and changes. Okay. We talked a little bit about yesterday about resistance. There is quite a bit of resistance. And even for me, there was a resistance that I didn't know. I wasn't aware. Was very scared. I didn't admit it. It was so deep inside. And, you know, we do everything. We really do. We do things to distract. We do things to look the other way. We do things or we say things. And it's going to be all normal and part of the process. So this isn't the moment I became aware of this for me, you kind of, this time around, it was like, let me say this. Emotional release is going to be a very normal and natural process. Most of the times, Now, for me, when I go through deep emotional releases, I don't go through what emotion I'm feeling. I don't go through the list of emotions. I don't go through that anymore because I know that it's so many, right? There's so many emotions, there's so many feelings. I do go through like themes. But energetically, I just want to feel the energy fully. And so in that, there's been a lot of judgment that's been released. There's been a lot of blame and shame that has been released. And so as I opened myself to this new realization of how the resistance I was holding, as soon as I went into the awareness, and by the way, this took a little bit of days. As soon as I went into the awareness and I continued to open myself to the awareness, I immediately shifted into, okay, I know what I have to do and I have to step it up, right? I have to gain that. I have to push myself into, okay, this needs to get done. You know how this messes with you. You know how this affects you. And it was mostly like, getting things straightened up, getting my space, getting my classroom organized. And I have been putting it off. And it's not like if you were to enter, you might not see it or feel it, but I know how much it affects me. And yet I was kind of just cruising along. And so yesterday was like, you know how important this is now. And so you kind of, as soon as the awareness came through for me, it was like, there's no judgment, there's no blame or shame. You just move on, move through it, and get stuff done. Ooh, thunder. Again, I'm going to repeat myself. Their frequencies are going to continue to get stronger. There is a lot of higher self aspects that are moving through, moving in, anchoring, all of these different things. And so there's going to continue to be a very strong need for continual change. When we talk about change is relative, like the amount of change is relative. There will be moments where you feel you cannot do anything at all because a lot of the changes happen internally. So back to like a little personal share. There was another deep realization that came through recently for me. And it was emotional, got it out, felt it. I will and will continue, and I'm still feeling into it because it actually is a really big one. And I started to remember things. Well, yesterday, I had one class. And normally my light body will kind of shake me up, get me into the space. Eventually I did, but it took a while. I was exhausted. And when was it? Monday. Monday was a little better, but I was still exhausted. Sunday had been a really busy day. We were out all day. Monday got to rest a little bit. Tuesday was also a going out and about day, and I was just so exhausted by, was it 3 o'clock? I was exhausted. But I realized also that this deep program, this realization is part of the 3D program. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about this here. When we talk about 3D programs, okay, they are extremely heavy. Okay. Now, the reason why we don't feel them as much, especially when we're not as, like, before we go through our quote unquote spiritual awakening consciously, we are disconnected to the body. When you're disconnected to the body, you can't fully feel the heaviness of 3D programming, 3D consciousness. Okay. So you start to open up, you start to wake up, you start to feel into the distortions, you start to feel deeper into all of the old beliefs. And that's when you start to get a little bit more emotional. That's when you start to get a little bit more, you start to feel the stress more, you start to feel the heaviness more. This is what's happening right now, globally and collectively, that I'm starting to see more of. Okay. While yes, our lives have changed a lot, while there's been a lot of shifts, right, since 2020 for all of us, what's happening right now is 2020 was also like a big light body activation for every single one of us. Okay. We are now feeling the effects of that, which means as your light body starts to activate a little bit more, you start to connect a little bit more to it. This connection allows you to feel the things that you hadn't quite felt before. This means that we're feeling things that we've been carrying for a really long time. These things aren't new. And I've had several conversations with close relatives where, you know, these things that were happening, the things that are happening right now, the things that we're seeing and the things that we're experiencing come from the heaviness that we've been holding on to. But this heaviness isn't new. This heaviness we've been carrying this heaviness for a really, 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 really long time. So now what's happening is we're opening up and connecting at a level that we're starting to feel how heavy this has actually been. So it's literally like we've been carrying a ton, 1,000-pound backpack without realizing it. We've been able to chug along. We've been able to maneuver this weight. Now that we're gaining more connection within, energetically, to our light body or with our light body, we're starting to feel a lot of things. So back to kind of the reality, my reality, gaining awareness of this program. Has allowed me to see just how heavy it's been. And so I went through, I wrote this down. I had, was purging it out, wrote it out, started to feel things in my body. And so put the writing down, closed my eyes, lay down, and I felt it a little bit more into my body. As soon as I started to feel more, things started to open up for me. The following day, it's like, oh my God, this is so heavy. I'm exhausted. And it will never be just one thing. So I know that there's other things in the midst of it, but was a pretty big realization for me. And that was linked to a big 3D program. And as I continued to open myself up, as I continued to feel deeper into this, the heaviness started to come through. And then it manifest, and then I started to feel how exhausted my body's been. My body's been exhausted from carrying this weight, but I wasn't as connected, and my light body, it's still activating, which means I'm still gaining deeper levels of connection to it. And this is also part of a very normal, never-ending process. You're always going to have the opportunity to connect deeper and deeper and deeper. And so, yesterday when I took a nap, I couldn't wake up. And I'm like, I have a class. Please, light body. And eventually did. But it did take a while. I was like foggy groggy in class for a little bit for the first part of it. Then I got better and got a little bit more energy. I was exhausted again. Like I did feel tired after the class, but I realized that I needed to do some things. And so my light body gave me enough energy to organize, reorganize, put stuff away, do some things that needed to be done, that I needed to push myself. Like, yes, I could have waited a little bit, but I was like, something inside said, start now. You might not get to finish it all. It's okay. Start now. Start to see more things, right? Start to have a little bit more order. Let that be your new normal, and which it is, but there will always be shifts, or there's always going to be changes. My nieces were here. It's like moving things around, shifting things around. And I hadn't gotten to put them back. So it's like, it's been a while. And so, finally got to bed pretty early. Got myself back into, or got myself into bed. And completely exhausted this morning, completely. And I knew that I had to honor it. I knew that I had to take a little more time to just rest and release. The heaviness that we experience, the exhaustion phase. I know we've talked about this, and I know we will continue to talk about this because it's huge. We don't know the level of exhaustion that we have put ourselves through. We do not know the level of heaviness that 3D programming and consciousness is, like how heavy it actually is. We don't know it. This is part of why we will go through the deep exhaustions and, deep tiredness and sleeping phase for quite a bit. And then it comes and goes all the time, because the 3D programming is so heavy. It sucks our energy, it sucks our life, it sucks everything. Allow yourself to become conscious of this. Allow your body to go through whatever it needs to go through. And as you continue to honor this, when you do have to be up, when you do have to be awake, when you do have to physically move around in your physical reality, your light body will always manage to pull you through it. Your light body will activate enough energy for you to get through the day. I'm always amazed at this. And there's been a couple of recent experiences where I'm just like, oh my God, thank you, light body. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Because of how miraculous it feels, where it's like you're completely out. You're going through the intensity of the sensation, physical body ascension. And the moment your reality shifts and you have to get up and you have to do things, your light body pulls you through it. Your light body wakes, your light body activates, your light body brings through an energy and brings through and lessens the pain or lessens whatever it is that you're going through. And you're able to move through it. And it just blows me away every time. So this is possible. Allow yourself to really embrace and honor and trust in your light body a little bit more and go deeper into where you're not. Where are you not trusting? Where are you still kind of fighting? Where are you still resisting? Where are you putting so much weight and pressure on yourself? Because the ego will do that, by the way. The ego thinks that it has to do it all on its own. The ego thinks that it's all on him. The ego doesn't trust anyone. The ego doesn't trust its light, doesn't trust its higher self, doesn't trust its light body. So it will continue to carry the weight. That's part of the programming that we each have to open up to and feel. And as we continue to open up and as we start to feel how heavy this is, your subconscious will start to open up and say, this is too much. This is too much for my body. You're going to start to open up to being ready to let this go. I'm ready to honor my light body now. I'm ready to let go of this weight. I am ready to be free. I am ready to be me as light. Right? So there's going to be a lot of different things. We will continue to go through a lot body-wise, light body-wise. I'm starting to, well, I personally, I'm still going through a lot of things. I'm seeing more people going through a lot of things, or I'm seeing people going through more things than before. They're feeling more things. And the biggest thing is that we're feeling the heaviness. We're feeling the emotion. We're feeling the stress more and more and more and more and more. And this is important. We've led lives completely disconnected, completely insensitive, completely out of the body. And so as more light comes into the body, as more of our light body gets activated, you start to become more present with the body, which is part of the reason why we are all starting to feel more things, because we're starting to become more present within this body, and that automatically makes us more aware of things, makes us a little bit more sensible. We start to sense a lot of things in many different ways. So wanted to bring a little bit of support and a little bit of a report here for you guys, and just personal shares to further expand, again, further support. You're not alone in this. We're all going through a big shift. 2024 will continue to be pretty big and massive, because next year is going to be even more massive, right? And that's even just the beginning. The rest of the decade is going to be even bigger, probably bigger than we know, probably bigger than we expect. But there's going to be, like, I feel this whole decade, it's like this big clearing and cleansing. Okay. This is key and this is crucial. Okay, we will go through all kinds of phases. But because we're still in the beginning phases of this and we're still learning how to operate as higher selves, the clearing phase is one of the biggest and most important ones. Most important phase before, because that has to happen before the act, before your before the new grids are put inside, before the reconstruction happens inside of you. This is done first before we start to physically reconstruct and physically build. So everything right now is about the body, the light body. Letting the light body do what it needs to do and the way that it needs to do it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Going to move into probably the Spanish report here in a little bit. If you're here, thanks for being here live. I will be sharing the replay. And I will be sharing more as well. More opportunities are coming, will be in the horizon. So I'll be sharing a little bit more about soon. But in any case, continue to breathe. Continue to be still. Continue to be present. And continue to feel all the support, the love, and the embrace that is actually coming through for each and every single one of us. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.